Phillips Consulting Limited, as part of its commitment to enhancing human capital development, hosted the Talent Management 3.0 Forum, which discussed the theme Future Forward HR, Explore the AI Experience in HR. The Chief Operating Officer of PCL, Mr. Olawanle Moran KG, in his opening remarks, shared the essence of the forum.
For years, we have viewed the future of work as something that will happen tomorrow. But the truth is, the future is already here. What once felt like future shock is now our daily reality. AI is no longer on the sidelines. It is already shaping and defining how we deal with the whole areas of the affairs of man. Our latest report reveals a mixed picture. While many organizations are experimenting with AI, only a few treat it as a true strategic priority. More striking is the 77% of professionals say they don't know their organization's AI risks. A reminder that while the tools are advancing, people, systems, and policies are struggling to keep pace. The development and intrusion of AI can be described as interesting and scary at the same time. This is why we are here today. Defense is not just about showcasing another report. It's about sparking a national conversation. How do we prepare our people, workplaces, and culture to thrive in a technology or AI-driven world? At PCL, we believe that the future will not be about man versus machine, but human potentials amplified by digital. And it is our responsibilities as leaders to ensure that that application creates opportunity, fairness, and growth.
Mr. Daniel Nilsson, the CEO of MuchSkills, the keynote speaker, stressed the need for organizations to prioritize being skill-based, which can lead to competitive Nigerian companies.
In the last 10 years, that is an improvement of 4,900%. And every year, we're improving 70%. When you are thinking about your organizations, when you're thinking about the future, you need to calculate that whatever you know today is not going to be true tomorrow. ChatGPT number 5 is now out. 2024 you had 4, now you have 5, is 70% better. So in 5 years, are we going to have ChatGPT 10 maybe or something like that? It will be insanely good. And you need to prepare yourself for this. A skill-based organization is insanely efficient. This is research made by Deloitte. Skill-based organizations are 98% more likely to retain their high performers, the people that really get work done. They are 52% more likely to innovate and 49% more likely to improve processes. This is not 1-2%. These are major numbers that affect your profits and end results, but most importantly, will make Nigerian companies more competitive worldwide and internally. So what is this skill-based organization? How can we start to think and what can we do? Well, the traditional organization, we always, me including by the way, been focusing on, a job title. We have a role. This is a stuck box that we put everybody in. We will focus on degrees and, the past work experience. We will look at here's a department, here's this. Everything is very boxed. But the skills-based organization is a little bit different and will challenge us a lot. It will be difficult to implement because we need to change our minds. A skill-based organization, when you hire somebody or when you're looking internally, everything will be about the employee and their skills. You want to make sure that you find the right skills, the right strengths for any job ahead. Also, when we are assigning this work, it's a little bit based on these people's interest, which is different here. And of course, when we are hiring people and we are like letting them grow in our company, they're not just one path. You're like this, and then you become a manager, and then you're a manager, and then you're like director. And no, there are many paths and way to go, because it's going to be skill-based instead. We're going to focus on big, large competence areas on how this is done. I'm suggesting that you can rethink and start to change the way you recruit and think about people and invent new type of profiles. Why don't you start to, of course, look at previous work history, education, everything else, but add skills?
Kemi Phillips, Partner Strategy and Execution, and Tracy Afolabi Johnson, Senior Consultant, People Transformation and Human Capital Management, presented a summary of the PCL Talent Management Report 3.0, AI and Automation Reshaping Talent Strategies in Nigeria's Workforce.
Financial services, really rapid adapters, so moving with speed. They're particularly using a lot of strategies around recruitment, using AI, digital tools and approaches to get screening done, the right candidates, and applying it in that way. Because there is a little bit of a pressure on financial sector to move really quickly, and employees are struggling with trust and wondering whether there is bias in some of the tools that are available to use. So they're reluctant to develop their proficiency, hence why there's a shift towards trying to bring in more people. Telecoms, generally very, very strong, obviously, in tech in terms of its infrastructure. The focus here, you'll see, is onboarding and training. So lots of AI strategies and tools being used in talent management, particularly on onboarding and training. What's interesting here is the tools, they're using tools to increase the ability to onboard and train people, but there is a very, very small amount of actual fluency around tools within the work. Retail and e-commerce, there was only a small percentage of respondents we had here, but what we found from those respondents is what they were saying was, if we have any money, we're going to spend it on the customer's experience. We don't have time or money to spend on talent management pieces. So what we're focusing our money on is that. But where we do, it's particularly in volume hiring. And finally, professional services. So a high level of expectation from professional services. Consulting firms, you guys should know and should be doing this more. That's the kind of ethos that we get from the public. So it's a huge amount of pressure to innovate. Unsurprisingly, there's then a focus in implementing talent strategies with AI, particularly on recruitment, because they can't move fast enough to develop the skills in employees whose proficiency stays at only 17%. So, cross-sector patterns, generally, we're on a journey, we're just starting. Early adoption is uneven but rising. As I think you'll see from the comments I made, most of the efforts are in efficiency rather than strategy. Also, there is digital skill gap, we're not surprised by that. There isn't so much focus on performance management and L&D. And also, lastly, what we're seeing is that there is a balance of fear and uncertainty in terms of application.
Thank you, Kemi. And then finally, we have recommendations that we made, more like call to action for 3 very important critical audiences, for organizations, for HR leaders, and also for policymakers. So for organizations, we're telling you to rethink your workforce strategy. Let AI be at the forefront. That's the world that we're in now. And then you can start small. You don't have to go all out. You can start small and then scale. And then it's very important that we focus on the people first transformation. And then for HR leaders, we're the bridge between the organization and the people. So be that bridge and then use data compassionately. And then when you want to lead the culture change towards digital fluency, it's important that we do not lose that human touch because, again, it's about the people. And then finally, for the policymakers, we need the right infrastructure for AI. And so it's important that we build the right infrastructure for inclusive participation and then aligning education, aligning regulation, and also investment with the real market needs and the current AI realities.
The event featured a robust panel discourse that explored the AI experience in HR and breakout workshop sessions. Mr. Phillips, chairman of PCL, the keynote speaker, or the facilitators and stakeholders speak further on a future-forward HR shaped by artificial intelligence.
I think the key thing about it is that, as somebody said earlier on today, you've got to try and see what kind of a problem you're trying to solve before you see how you can really apply the concept of AI. We've all heard over the years about machine learning, artificial intelligence, and so many things that some people don't understand. But what is clear is that we have a tool that is defying human imagination to the extent that even people are panicking that it might become a threat to humanity itself, the way we know it. Now, the world we live in today is one whereby we're saying, how can we get more and more efficient? And as we discussed today, the whole concept of human resource management, because it's people that have invented AI and it's people that have been affected by it. And the very existence of the role that we play as people is being challenged. And the one that we feel we are most exposed to is that of human service itself. And the department that deals with human service is the HR department. So the HR people are saying that, okay, what does this mean to us as a department and what does it mean to humans in terms of the work that they do? And that's why this conference or this session we're having is very relevant, future forward of HR.
People matter most in organization. And going by all the development around, we felt that AI is the trend. Not only the trend, we feel that this is impacting the way and manner of work. So if you look at the first thing we did has to do with compensation. Last time we dealt with virtual work. And if you connect the three together, you discover that virtual work, and AI, you discover that there's a link.
It's very interesting because Phillips Consulting does a report every year. This is our third year running, and this year we had to go into the space of AI and the impact that it's having on talent management. It's topical, and if you look at the research globally, it doesn't really focus on Nigeria, and that's what we really wanted to do. Some of the things that we identified was that it's understandable, we're on a journey, but I think HR as a function needs to do much more in being strategic about the things it's doing. We can see that most of the talent management approaches and tools that are being used are focused on recruitment, on onboarding, on training, but very much on those administrative tasks, which is great. AI can be there for that, but there's a huge amount that we can unlock when we start to think about the strategies of it as well.
So HR is coming either we like it or not, and it's changing our processes, our way of work. But what I find most interesting is actually it's going to empower Nigeria. Anyone could actually get a free ChatGPT license or any other product and start using it for research, understanding things. So no matter who you are, all you need is a phone and you can access all the knowledge in the world. I think that's super exciting for Nigeria. And I can't wait how you as a country, the most entrepreneurial people I know, that how you would use it.
I thoroughly enjoyed coming here because, number one, because of the insights that they were sharing about the future of work age, I look forward to reading the entire report. Also, the panel discussion was very engaging. And for me, the key takeaway was that what are the different challenges the corporate Nigeria is facing, which is very different to different other countries. What is the readiness and specific challenges, which means that for helping corporate Nigeria adapt to AI, it has to be tailored to the local realities.
The advent of emerging technologies like artificial intelligence has reinforced the need for organizations to retool, re-strategize, and reposition in its adoption and use cases across sectors. As Nigeria seeks to assert itself in the age of AI, an important takeaway from the PCL Talent Management 3.0 Forum is the need to embed the human in the loop component with the prioritization of skills development.